Please, I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to every single one of you. You, and you. Hello. Good morning, Singapore. Well, I don't know if it's morning. It's probably not morning. I'm going to assume it's evening where you are. So good evening, Singapore. Or maybe when you're listening to this, it's afternoon. That's why I would always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, because I don't know where everybody is and I don't know what time they listen to this. So, I got to cover my bases. I got to cover my bases and make sure I include, we got to be inclusive, We've got to be inclusive now. So, hey, thank you to those that are tuning in for the first time or who have been with me since the beginning or somewhere in the middle. Thank you. I appreciate it. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a spouse, coworker, run down the streets shouting from the rooftops. Well, I guess you can't run down a street and shout from a rooftop. So I don't know, shout from the rooftops and the streets. Don't get hit by a car. Don't fall off the roof. Nowadays, you have to say these disclaimers because otherwise people sue you. They're like, well, Courtney said to go run on top of the roof. So then I fell off the roof and now I have broken bones. It's Courtney's fault. So, don't do anything that is unsafe, but safely run amok, telling everybody about the ramblings of an insomniac. That would be awesome. Anyway, hey, most of my podcasts have been like genuine babble, like actual ramblings. I guess pretty much every single podcast of mine has been rambling and babbling. I don't really think I have any that are like enlightened and like, you could learn a lot or anything. I'm not necessarily here for educational purposes. It's just my opinion on things, my take on life, my straight white girl take on things, my Generation X take on things, my conservative, I call myself a conservative bohemian, a conservative hippie, because I do have some liberal point of views. I'm not totally against abortion. I'm so on the fence about it. I quite literally see both sides of the fence. I don't see it, do not agree with it at all if it's used as a birth control. No. If you get pregnant just because you messed up and there's not going to be any harm to the baby and you were not raped or molested, then I'm totally against abortion. You don't need to use it as a form of birth control, as an oops kind of thing. Just like that, what is it, Plan B pill? It doesn't need to be your Plan B. You just need to be responsible and take care of your child or put your child up for adoption. There are plenty of people out there that are just really, really want a child and can't have a child. So they would love to be able to adopt. There's some good people out there that want a child. But, but I also, and I do think that basically the only time that I'm not saying is pro-abortion. That sounds terrible because I'm not trying to say that I am, that I think you should have an abortion. It's not that I'm pro it. It's the time that I understand. It's the time that I get it, that I understand. It would be obviously if you and or your baby's life, well, I guess it wouldn't be the baby's life in danger because if you're going to abort the baby, that means your baby's life is in general because you're going to terminate the baby. So, but if you are, going to die, if you are going to die because you go into labor and you have a child and then they are fearful of your life, then I understand why the need to have an abortion. I get it. But so point being, I'm a conservative hippie. I also love myself some trees, and I'm not religious. I'm not religious at all. I believe in a higher, there's definitely more out there than me. That is for sure. Totally. I always get agnostic and atheist. I think atheist is you don't believe in anything. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in anything, no higher power. Agnostic is you don't necessarily believe in a God or God, but you do believe that there is a higher power out there, something greater than yourself, which that I, of course, believe because I'm not narcissistic, I leave that to the lefties. So Bonnie, for real. Anyway, so oh my God, there is somebody walking their puppy right now. It's a full-on little puppy, a little puppy lab. Well, it's kind of far away, so I'm not 100% certain it's a lab. Could be a lab mix, but point being, it's a puppy. Ugh. So on that note, hey, good segue. I am trying to get my ducks in a row to get a dog rescue going. I have been wanting to do a dog rescue for an eternity, and I just haven't flipped the switch. And again, if you've listened to my podcast from the beginning, you will know that I don't follow through on things that I talk about. I am more like Nike, just do it. I have to just get up. If I have a problem making my bed, I have to just get up, make my bed, not think about it, not be like, I'm going to make my bed this morning. No, I can't pre-plan it. I have to just, in my own brain, without saying anything to anybody, make my own goals. And if I talk about them, I tend to not follow through at all. Because I know this sounds bad, but I do, when I have a goal or I have a mission, I do it for me. Now, because it's for me, it doesn't mean that it doesn't benefit my sons, my grandkids, my coworkers, my spouse, whatever. Because I'm not a selfish person. Most of the things I do is because it's, it'll definitely benefit everybody. But I just get really frustrated with myself because if I talk about things, I tend to, for whatever reason, I just don't follow through. And so this dog rescue has been a goal of mine for a long time. And I just sort of let it poo-poo away. Honestly, I didn't let it just poo-poo away. I've had a lot of crap going on. And I have been sidetracked by life, which I know everybody can be like, well, that's an excuse. And it is to an extent, but it's actually legitimate. I have had a whole boatload of nonsense going on to deal with, and trying to do that on 3 to 4 hours of sleep and working 10, 12 hours a day, and trying to also maintain your home and your animals. And, you don't really have time for extracurricular activities. And I would stay up until all hours of the night working on trying to get a dog rescue going. But like I said, I'm already only sleeping 3 to 4 hours. And so I should use that time to be working on that. But the problem is I start to work on it and then I fall asleep. And then, of course, I get woken right back up again. And it's been a whole thing. So point being, I'm trying to get back on track with that. And now that I've spoke about it, now that I've said it out loud, I've probably doomed myself, but we shall see. I've been talking to ChatGPT about it. Being in the state of Oregon is awesome because Oregon, Texas, Tennessee, and Florida, 1 Democrat state, 3 Republican states, are apparently the very best states to open up a dog rescue for many reasons. They care very much about their animals. They're big into animal welfare. But they also don't make you jump through a million bureaucratic red tape nonsense. Of course, they want you to do things legally and above the law, especially because 3 of them are Republican states. Oregon is a, shady motherfucker state. But anyway, um, they want you to, but I guess not in this instance. So, hey, Oregon, I do love that Oregon loves their animals, very big into animal welfare. So I love that about the state of Oregon. Love many things about Oregon. Like I said, it's beautiful. A lot of nice people, great breweries, great food, obviously amazing scenery, waterfalls. We do care about our environment and we do care about our animals. So that's great. So if you just cut Portland out, people in Eugene are amazing. People in Portland suck ass. I'm sorry, Portland, but you guys are just rude, crazy. That's why there's Portlandia. You can't tell me there's an entire show called Portlandia if you guys weren't, if you didn't have some not everything going on up there. Keep Portland weird is not something to brag about, the way that you guys keep things weird. But Portland used to be cool. Portland used to be amazing. Had a million awesome food joints, lots of art, really great art. They bike everywhere. Clean. It used to be very clean, fun. People didn't have a stick up their ass back in the day. Like in the 80s and 90s, Portland was great, even early 2000s. But, ooh, now. And then Eugene, same thing. Only they have nice people, really great people in Eugene. But it's also unfortunately turned into a dump, and it sucks because there's a lot of cool stuff in Eugene too. They're also into biking everywhere. Tons and tons of biking. Like you can bike everywhere, all over Eugene. Lots of cool trails, lots of cool hikes, great little shops, but they've also turned into a lot of homeless and drugs. Like a lot of Democratic states, it's just gone downhill, unfortunately. But point being, we do care about our animals, and those states are the best. So I want to stay around my family. I only have, my grandkids and my sons left. That's all I've got. So I don't want to be away from them. I wish I could move. I would love to move to Tennessee. I would love to move um, to West Virginia. That's actually one of my big goals would be West Virginia. Tennessee, maybe. I don't know. I've looked at a couple areas, put it that way, but Oregon, I want to stay near my family. And so I don't know. I want to do this. I can't continue to see animals. I already donate to a million shelters. I donate to 4 different shelters and the ASPCA. So 3 shelters plus the ASPCA. So animals are just, I can't continue to see those freaking commercials that have now ruined that song in the arms, that Sarah McLachlan song. I hate it. I bawl. I can't watch it. It breaks my heart. And seeing and hearing about all these animals that didn't have homes because of the fires in California or because of the hurricane in North Carolina. And just anytime dogs are misplaced or people are dumping dogs now, like what kind of sick ass motherfucker do you have to be to dump your dog? Like, I hope these people that beat animals or neglect animals, abuse animals, dump animals, I hope that they get put in a shelter and they get treated, they have to just stay in there. And I hope they get starved and beaten the way that they were beaten, neglected the way that they, abused the way that they were abused. That's just a sick motherfucker. And, this is again where it's tough because I understand a lot of times when people are pedophiles, it's because unfortunately they were molested and or raped and that's all they know. And so, well, I guess molesting is rape. So anyway, if that's all you know, if that's what you grew up, if you grew up being molested and abused, then it's no wonder that you then become an abuser. If you grew up having the shit kicked out of you all the time and you always saw violence and were around violence, it's no wonder that you grew up becoming an abuser and being violent. Not condoning it, not making excuses, not saying it's okay. I'm just saying it's understandable. But the whole animal cruelty thing, I just, I can't. And I don't know if you've seen the documentary on Netflix that came out a million years ago, probably like 13 years ago. 13, 15 years ago, called Blackfish. But fucking SeaWorld, why it's not shut down? If you are someone that likes SeaWorld and is into that, you really need to watch that documentary and you really need to do your homework because it is not a good place. These poor whales, these poor orca whales are being ripped away from their family and they are pods. They travel in pods. They travel in families. They don't ever, 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 ever leave their families. They're always around their families. And they get actual depression. That's why their dorsal fin is all bent. They will try to tell you it's for all these other things, but it's not. It's because they have ripped their lives away and they're so fucking depressed. Plus, you're putting them in a teeny tiny little bubble, they had the whole fucking ocean. They had a huge environment. And you're putting them in a teeny tiny, tiny little environment for everybody to look at and stare at. Zoos are the same way. I fucking hate zoos. There's no reason for a zoo. The only time I'm on board with animals being in captivity is if they are on the brink of extinction, or if like when rhinos and elephants and stuff get poached, like if they're at risk of being poached and you're trying to build a sanctuary so that people don't poach them, I get it. Or if you're going to house them because maybe they have been hurt and they're injured and you're trying to rehabilitate them and then put them back out into the wild. And then I understand if maybe they have an injury that unfortunately, sure, you can rehabilitate them, but they'll no longer be able to survive out in the wild. Part of me says, well, that's also circle of life, unfortunately, because that happens with people. Sometimes we can't rehabilitate. Sometimes when we get sick, we die. So part of me says, well, that's also the circle of life. We need to let nature take its course, although it's heartbreaking, although it rips my heart out of my chest. But the other half of me is like, yeah, but if we can fix them, because, let's say we have a disease, we have cancer, and sure, the outcome may be that we are going to, only live another year. And we may not be able to climb Mount Everest and we may not be able to run a marathon, but we still can have a good quality of life. Then, of course, we should rehabilitate that animal or that person. And of course, we should help them out. But otherwise, I think zoos, and again, especially SeaWorld needs to be closed down. Those poor animals need to be let go. People need to stop climbing on the back and domesticating animals. I can't stand people that collect exotic animals and take an animal out of its natural habitat, away from its family and friends, away from its life. Some beautiful parrot is just flying around in the Amazon, enjoying its life, has a family, and boom, some dude catches it and then puts it in a cage in a whole other country for everybody to stare at. That is so fucking cruel and unnecessary because we are shitty humans. We are humans that feel that we need everything. We have to have 7 cars because 1 car is not enough. We have to have gold and diamonds and big cell phones. And then 1 minute, little cell phones are in style. And then big cell phones again. And then little purses are in style. And then big purses are in style. And then humongous houses with fucking 8 bedrooms and 9 bathrooms in a movie theater. Give me a break. But taking animals seriously, watch Blackfish if you haven't. It'll make you bawl. It made me want to go stand outside SeaWorld. I fucking lost my mind. I wrote a letter to SeaWorld. I got on social media and told everybody to stop going to SeaWorld. I got the Free Tilly t-shirt. I tried to call a newspaper so that they would do, something on it. I should have done more. I should have continued on with it. So I can't watch nature documentaries because although I completely understand that lions have to eat, tigers have to eat, cheetahs have to eat, I get it. But I can't watch them eat a gazelle or prey on another animal. I understand that they have to feed their cubs too. They have to live. They have to survive. It's the circle of life. I get it. Can't watch it. I can't even watch Homeward Bound. Homeward Bound, all the animals live. All the animals live, no one dies, but it rips my heart out of my chest, and I can't stand the fact that they think that their owners didn't love them anymore. They think their owners abandoned them. It just broke my heart. I can't. And right now, especially because I just lost my girl 6 days ago, my best friend, my partner that has been loyal to the core, my dog, Nora. I just lost her on Wednesday the 7th, and I'm extra fired up now about animal rights. And I always have been. Which, again, speaking of, so I went out this morning to go walk my other dogs, and I'm down there and I'm walking them, and I always keep poop bags with me. In fact, I pick up other people's poop, not people's poop, but other people's dogs' poop, dog poop, other dog poop. I don't know. Anyway, point being, I was down there minding my own business. Nobody was around me. And I have a dog that is 14 and he's blind and he's partially deaf, not all the way. And I didn't have him on a leash. I don't like it when people don't have their dogs on a leash if there's other dogs around, because you just never know how a dog's going to behave. But this was pretty early in the morning, and I purposely looked around and just put him down. Now, if I see a dog coming, I will either put his leash on or I will pick him up. Especially if another dog is not on a leash. So I had him down on the leash, without a leash, and I see this gigantic, Great Pyrenees. And so I casually walk over. I didn't run over because the Pyrenees was on a leash and actually didn't seem to be even acknowledging my dog at all. So I went over, and plus I'm not going to run and cause a drama because now you're creating drama. And then the dogs are going to be like, oh, are we supposed to be having drama right now? Are we supposed to be having beef? Am I supposed to be barking? You're excited, so I'm going to get excited. So I went to go pick him up, and I hear her, and I hate it when people do this passive aggressive crap. It's so annoying. If I have a problem with you, I will just tell you. I'm not going to talk about you next to you, hoping or knowing that you'll hear it, or do passive aggressive stuff. That's so pussy. That's just you being ridiculous. If you actually believe in what you're saying, if you actually think what you're saying is necessary or true, then speak it out loud and speak it to someone's face. Because when you do it behind their back, or you do it under your breath, or you do it passive aggressively, it means you're not confident in what you're saying. It means you know that what you're saying is a bunch of bullshit, or that it's just very unnecessary because you're not proud of it. You're not confident enough to say it to someone's face. It means it's usually bullshit. So she's over there talking to her dog, but loud enough for me to hear, going, we'll wait until she gets her dog on a leash. Good for you being a good boy and leaving that dog alone that's off a leash. And I'm just like, lady, I am in no mood for you. I'm just really in no mood. So I'm going to be an adult and not feed into your nonsense. So then I walk over and I pick him up, and I start to walk by, and she's got her cell phone out. And I'm like, oh my God, what are you videotaping? I'm over here in sweatpants. I hadn't even brushed my hair, and no one's doing anything. So then, because I'm far enough away, by the way. So I just look at her and wave like, hi. And I scooch over, and she again looks over, and she's like, good boy for not going over and getting that dog that's off the leash. And I'm like, you need to get the fuck over it, because first of all, I'm now holding my dog and he's not down on the ground. So it doesn't matter that he's not on a leash at the moment because I'm holding him. Also, quit drawing attention to everything. Now you're creating drama. Again, you're pointing out to your dog, basically, here's a snack. You're creating an issue. Also, get laid. Honestly, go have a drink and get laid. Because if you have nothing better to do with your time than to make snippy little comments about things that are not a big deal, I would understand if my dog was over there, causing an issue and barking and going at her dog. Totally understandable. I would understand if my dogs were going at her dogs or causing an issue. Totally. Your dog should be on a leash. My dog should be on a leash. I get it. It was early in the morning. He is a little tiny chihuahua that is blind and half deaf. And so I understand that people worry about their dog, that maybe their dog will attack my dog. And it's not about my dog. They're not worried about my dog. They're worried about their dog going after my dog, which I understand because I also don't like it when people don't have their dog on a leash and then their dog comes running over to my dog and they go, don't worry, my dog is friendly, my dog is friendly. And I'm like, but you don't know if my dog is friendly. My dog might not be friendly. And now your dog, in my dog's eyes, from my dog's point of view, your dog's running at me and I'm on a leash and I'm being contained and they're going to feel vulnerable and they're going to feel trapped and they're going to feel that they are being attacked because a dog is running at them. And maybe my dog's not a nice dog. So your dog needs to be on a leash to benefit everybody. Again, I wish dogs didn't have to be on a leash. I also want to let my dogs run free on the beach. I'm from the coast. I loved nothing more than taking my dog down on the beach and letting her run off leash and run around. And if every dog were well behaved and had recall, if all of our dogs would come on command, that sounds bad. If they all had recall, good recall, and they were all well trained, it wouldn't be a problem. And if every dog got along, it'd be great. But point is, my dog wasn't freaking out. Nothing was happening. And she's creating an issue that isn't. And also, mind your own, get a life. Honestly, these kind of people. I'm not going to call them Karens because I've actually met a lot of very lovely, not a lot, but I've met like 2 or 3. I have an Aunt Karen. She's lovely. I worked with a Karen. She's lovely. And I knew another Karen that was the nicest lady in the world. So I'm not going to say Karen. And I don't even want to say a name because then people will go, oh my God, do you think that all Britneys are bitchy? Although I do have to say, I don't think I've ever met a nice Brittany in my life. I'm sorry if your name is Brittany and if you're a good person, I want to meet you. And I'm sure the Britneys that I've met are good people. They just came across as extraordinarily bitchy. Let's see, Brittany. Yep, I just thought of 4 Britneys that I have either gone to school with or worked with, and I wasn't a fan. But I'm sure that that's only 4. There are a bajillion Britneys out there, and I'm sure that you are all perfectly lovely people. It's just the name that springs to mind. Like for some reason, when I think of a douche, I think of the name Brock or Brad, and I don't know why. Because I'm pretty sure Brocks and Brads are very lovely men. I'm sure they're great men, but I just think of douche when I hear their name. I don't know why, which is awful. I know that's awful. Courtney is the same way. I hate my name. My name's ugly, and people think of bitchy cheerleader. I mean, every Courtney that you see on TV is like bitchy. So I have one of those names too. It's that Generation X. We have those names like the Jennifers, the Stacys, the Britneys. That was my generation. I'm not saying those people are bitchy at all. I'm just saying those are the names that come from my generation. What were the boy names? Why can't I all of a sudden not think of boy names from my generation? Wow, brain fart. But anyway, dog rescue. All of this came from me saying that I'm going to work on getting my dog rescue up and going because there are too many animals out there that really need a home. People need to stop getting dogs that don't fit their situation and then dumping them off at a humane society. Do not get any type of working or herding dog if you are a lazy ass and if you don't want to do a lot of mental and physical exercise with them. Doesn't matter I always tell people, it really doesn't matter if you live in an apartment as long as you do a boatload of mental and physical exercise. You don't just keep them cooped up. It will matter if you live in an apartment if you're going to keep them cooped up and not exercise them mentally and physically. Then your apartment will be destroyed and your life will be miserable. Don't get dogs that require a lot of mental and or physical activity if you are someone that works a ton and don't want to do that. That's understandable. If you don't feel like doing that, then because you have a job that's busy and you have a lot of kids and you have a busy life, totally understandable. You should not get a dog like that. You should get a pug. You should get a chihuahua. All dogs need exercise. All dogs should have mental and physical exercise, but the level and the amount of physical and mental exercise that each dog needs is different. So you need to find a dog that matches your lifestyle. If you don't have a lot of time, don't get a dog that requires a lot of time and energy. Obviously, dogs require time. You should give your dog time and love them and care for them. I just mean there's different amounts of different levels of energy you need to put into a dog, and different amounts of, you need to look at what they're prone for. Are they prone to hip dysplasia, heart dysplasia, being deaf, being blind? Are they prone to having knee injuries? Are they prone to breathing issues, to allergies? That's why sheltered mixed breeds are the best. Mutts are the best. They usually have the best of everything. But I'm getting sick and tired of people going, yeah, I got this dog because he was so cute, so cute. Yes, German Shepherd puppies are fucking adorable as shit. So adorable. One of the most adorable puppies on earth. And so people are like, and then Husky puppies, also fucking adorable. But those are the two dogs that you really have to have a certain lifestyle for. Huskies in particular. Huskies are really not meant, in my opinion, to be domesticated. I feel like they should all just join a pack of wolves and live freely. I feel they still have too much of their wolf nature in them, too much of their wild side to be contained. They don't like to be contained. Most Huskies, I'm not saying all, but most. So you have to not go by how cute a dog is. You need to go by how they fit your lifestyle. But dumping a dog, God, you're some kind of person to do that. Ooh, so that is what my plans. I am going to today be working on that, and hopefully now that I've talked about it, I will actually still follow through. I will, because this was something that I will follow through on, because I know there are dogs out there that need me. I have to look at it like there are dogs out there that are relying on me, that need me, and I need to do it for the pups out there. I need to do it for my dog, Nora. So, that's what I'm going to do today. That's what I'm going to be working on. What are you guys up to? What's going on in your life? What's keeping you up? Is anything keeping you up? Are you sleeping like a log? I hate the term sleeping like a baby, because babies don't sleep. I don't know why people say sleep like a baby. Babies are up all the time. So, I don't know, sleep like a drunk hillbilly. That's passed out though. I don't know. Anyway, hey, thank you so frickin' much for listening, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you for always listening, regardless of the fact that I babble about nothing. I digress. I rarely make sense, and I'm half asleep. You can hear all of the outside noise. That's intentional, by the way, people. Again, first-time listeners. I intentionally have the outside noises going on. I think it's better. More better. It's more better. It's kind of like a record when it's got that static, It's like that when you photograph that had an actual photograph that's not all enhanced and AI'd, and, it has its true grain. It has its true picture, the true grain to it, and the grit. Life, You got to hear life. Why would you want to edit out life? You got to hear it. I'm keeping it in. This is what's going on around me right now. And that's good. You got to absorb life. You got to take it in. You got to go outside, and whatever's going on, even if life is shit at the moment, unfortunately, it is what it is. And you have to control what you can. And then you've got to take a breath and let go of all the other crap that you cannot control. So I hope you do that today. Go out and enjoy life. And even if what you have going on is not the situation you want, figure out solutions, figure out ways to be out of that situation. Take a breath so you can think clearly. It really is that episode of Scrubs where JD is like, I don't understand how Elliot can handle all the stress and all the chaos of the ER. And he's like, how do you do that? And she's like, I know it sounds silly, and I know it sounds simple and easy, but you just take really deep breath, slow, deep breath in through your mouth, out through your nose slowly. And it really does help slow things down. We all know this. It's not new. I'm not saying anything enlightened or new, but we don't do it. I know I don't do it enough. So I like to end my podcast all the time with everybody just remembering to breathe. And thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.